My most humble and loving pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Lord. Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. On 7th of September 97, Swami said, if you have faith and love, your prayers will reach God, regardless of distance. You must see that your love for God is pure and unsullied. You must be prepared to subject yourself to God's tests. The sooner you pass these tests, the nearer you will be to God. There can be no spiritual advance without going through these tests. This exemplified what we experienced in 1994. 1994 was a special year for transformation for many of us involved in Sai spiritual education in the UK. For this was the year of Sai Mahima 1, our first UK-wide SSC children's program that we took to perform before our beloved Lord. But from the planning stage onwards, this wasn't just about the final performance, but the journey of devotion and spiritual transformation that took place in the hearts of the SSC children, teachers and parents who were part of this group. We decided to do concentrated sadhana in preparation for our journey to God, starting 6 months before our planned date of departure. And it was so wonderful to witness how Swami responded to the children's sadhana. Many of the children had dreams of Swami when they made extra efforts with their sadhana. This encouraged the other children too. And Swami's response to the children in his physical presence brought tears to many of our eyes. His love for the children brought him closer to us all. In that trip, we experienced the result of complete faith in God. Some were tested more than others according to their limit and capacity. But the grace of God came in full at the end of it all. This first special trip as a national SSC group taught us many things and gave us many precious moments and memories of our time with our Lord. The children who participated, now youth, still talk about these precious memories whenever we meet, and their experiences on the trip have had a profound effect in shaping the young men and women that they have become. One of these memories was the group interview that Swami gave us after the 2 performances of Sai Mahima's 1 that the children did in his divine presence. And I would like to share those memories of that interview with you all today. The group interview took place in the central hall in Trai Vrindavan. Swami came in and sat down in the chair, his face beaming with smiles. He looked at all of us and said, program good, very happy, good discipline, good devotion, very, very happy. He looked at some of the youth boys and shook his head and said sternly, bad boys, bad thinking, bad talking, animalistic. Do not be like animals. You should remember you are human. When you lose your temper, you are like a dog, barking and shouting. You must keep repeating, I am not dog, I am a man. I am not dog, I am man. When you go and roam around, visiting people's houses and talking, you are like a cat or a rat. They go into houses and steal. You must say to yourself, I am not cat, I am not rat, I am man. When your mind is not steady, wandering here and there, it is like a monkey. You must say, I am not monkey, I am man. When asked if the girls are behaving all right, Swami said, yes, here they are good and very disciplined and don't waste time. But when they go out, they are not. Remember, what is Satchidananda? Sat is the sugar, the sweetness that is in everything. Chit is the water. When you mix the two, they are neither sugar nor water. They become syrup. You get the sweet syrup of Ananda, the bliss. Do good, be good, and then you will get bliss. Swami then asked the boys, where is God? Several people answered. One of the boys said, God is in our hearts, Swami. Swami shook his head and said, how can God be in your heart? Your heart is small and God is big. He took his handkerchief and said, look at my handkerchief. And he crumbled it up and held it within his clenched fist. The handkerchief is small and my hand is big, so it can fit inside. But your heart is so small and God is so big. How can he fit into your heart? God is not in you, you are in God. He held up a hand in blessing and pointed to the empty palm. What is here? Everything. Someone answered, everything is Swami. And he replied, nothing. But it is also everything. Nothing is everything. Everything is nothing. You are in God and everything is in God. What is bhakti? Swami asked. And after listening to replies, he said, it is love for God. Not boy-girl love, but pure love. The love you give without expecting anything in return. The way to God is love. How do you get to God? Be good, do good, see good. Love all, serve all. He told us, you must have confidence before you can love. You must have confidence to know that your mother is your mother before you can love her. You must have confidence that your wife is your wife before you can love her. So too with God. It is like a house with self-confidence as the foundation or floor, self-satisfaction as the walls, and self-realization as the roof. Swami talked about the power of God within you. Your eyes cannot see without the power. When you die, your eyes cannot see. Your ears cannot hear. The power is like the battery inside you. That is God. What is education? He asked. Various answers were given by the boys and girls. Swami said, training of the mind. What is study? And then Swami said, concentration of the mind, not collection of facts. He called the boy who was not in the group forward and asked him whether the ring he materialized for him was loose. The boy said yes, and so Swami took it from him. He looked at some of the youth boys and said, you are doubting Thomases. You doubt what you see and don't always believe. Here, have a close look at this ring. Look at the shape and size. Look carefully and then I will change it. The boys and the men passed it round, looking at it carefully. Then Swami took it back and blew on it 3 times and it changed, becoming thicker with diamonds, and when he put it back on the boy's finger, it fitted perfectly. When a teacher asked if he had a special message for the teachers, Swami answered, special message? First be, then do, then tell others. You must be the practical example for the children. Some of you tell the children off for getting angry, but can't control your own temper. Some adults, especially on the gent side, smoke. They tell the children that smoking is bad, but that it ruins your health, but they themselves can't stop smoking. And some of the children are very intelligent and ask, but why are you still smoking? Therefore, you must first do before you preach. He stressed this again later when asked about the importance of discipline for gurus and children. He said, discipline is very important for children, but you must be disciplined first to be an example. You don't practice discipline yourself, then how can you tell the children to be disciplined? First be, then do, and then tell. He mentioned wasting energy several times. Do not waste energy. Energy is God. You must use it skillfully, not killfully. Too much talking is a waste of energy. That is why rishis practiced Maunam and rose to higher and higher spiritual levels. Anger is a waste of energy. It is like a radio. If you leave it switched on, it loses power and wastes energy. When you lose your temper, you lose 3 months of energy. You lose your memory power, you lose your power of discrimination, your lips and your legs tremble, your body shakes, you become weak. You must learn to control your anger. Do not waste energy. Swami said, do not waste money, that is evil. What is the way to immortality? He asked. He listened to some of the answers. He stopped the adults answering. He encouraged the boys and girls to answer his questions. He then said, by getting rid of immorality, like anger, greed, desires, you get immortality. What is the essence of the 18 Puranas, he asked, and then said, help ever, hurt never. He asked everyone how old he was. He then said, I will be 69 in November. Do I look 69? Everyone said, no. He asked, why is it? Then he said, I don't look my age because of the 3 P's, purity, patience and perseverance. He told those present that we should limit our desires. Believe it or not, he said, I have only about 5 robes that I wear. The devotees bring me so many hundreds of robes for me to wear, all of which I give to the students. Therefore, limit your desires and limit your attachments. You must strive for balance. The body, when it is well, has a temperature of 98.4 and blood pressure 120/80. If the temperature goes higher or lower, the body becomes sick. You buy some new shoes that are too big or too small, you won't be able to walk properly. You need a balance. You need a limit. There must be a limit to life. If you go above it, it is no good. He told us that we should not worry about the future or the past. He said, forget the past. You can't change it. Don't brood over the future. You could die tomorrow. Live in the present. The present is like a seed, and the past and the future are like 2 big trees. Your past will have determined the seed that you plant in the present, and what you plant in the present will affect the tree that grows in the future. So live in the present. Don't dwell on the past. Past is past. For boys, they are always thinking of the future. Don't think of the future. Live in the present, the omnipresent. When asked what the youth in the UK should do for him, Swami said, work without expecting results or rewards. Work, work, work. Do your duty. Duty is God. Use your mind and body as tools for the Lord. Be His instruments. When doing something, don't expect rewards. Don't worry about results. Remember that I am always with you, that I know what you are doing. God is like your shadow. Your shadow follows you wherever you go. You can't run and hide from it. You can't escape from it. It is always there. That shadow is like God. He asked some of the boys, what is your name? For each one he pretended that he didn't understand them, and then he pronounced the names with the correct Indian pronunciation. Example, Aruna, not Arun. Sektidharan, not Saktidharan. He told them that proper pronunciation of words was very important. Swami said, you pronounce your names to make it easier for Westerners. Don't be corrupted by Western culture. keep your Indian culture strong. You are all Indian children. Several times he picked on one boy in particular and told him off, but kindly, like a mother trying to correct her child. He told him that he was getting into bad company. Swami said, too much wandering around and visiting friends, not good. Show me your friends and I will show you your character. You will be judged by the friends that you keep. You will have many friends when you have money in your pocket. All will say hello, hello and be your friends. But when you have no money in your pocket and you need their help, they won't have enough time to even say goodbye to you. Remember, your only true friend is God. When a mother asked what advice he could give the mothers bringing up their children in the West, Swami said, the mothers are not doing their duty. They are spoiling the children, especially the sons, by giving too much money and freedom. The fathers won't give the money, so the children go to the mother, and she always gives. Too much money is bad for the children. The mother then said, this is happening everywhere, Swami. Swami said, not everywhere. Not in India, probably because the husbands do not give enough money to the wives. You all in London have more money and you spoil the children. Children need freedom, but not too much. He talked about unity in diversity. He pointed to a little boy in the group and said, look at this little boy. When he grows up, he becomes a man. Later, he becomes a husband, later a father, and later still a grandfather. Over many years, he has changed a lot, but he is still the one same man. The stages are different, but the man is one. There are many different types of jewelry, but the gold is one. Beings are many, breath is one. Nations are many, earth is one. Stars are many, sky is one. This is unity in diversity. He told us to pick beggars, not beggars. He said, some people come and ask Swami for money and things. They are beggars, not beggars. Ask for that which I have come to give you, and you will be beggars. There are many beggars outside. You must not give them money. If you give them money, they use it to buy drink and spoil them. Give them food, give them clothes. There are lots of little boys in the village who are becoming beggars. If you spoil them, they will grow into big beggars. Don't give money. When asked if he had a special message for the UK, Swami smiled and said, my life is my message. Someone asked Swami if he would come to the UK. Earlier he said, yes, but you must call not with your lips, but from here, pointing to his heart. Whenever you call me, I will come to you, but it must be with the heart. Then later he said that he wouldn't go traveling to the West because they spoiled holy men with money. Holy men go to the US and the UK and they are given donations, buying them $10,000 Swami, 4,000 pounds Swami. He shook his head sadly and said, they spoil them too much temptation. These were the main points our beloved Lord gave to us on that precious day. Thank you, Saya.